Important intelligence to us because we cannot be everywhere. We cannot know what is happening around in the compounds and in the neighborhood, in the communities. We therefore ask the community, the people living with these people around, to give us relevant information so that we can fight these crimes together.
Experts say a constant use of drugs could cause serious reaction to the body, including a life-threatening condition that affects multiple body systems. Despite the political transition in Gambia, illicit drug trafficking and violent crimes continue to threaten the life and livelihood of ordinary citizens in the country. For iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Chow.
Rentals in the Gambia has been a challenge for many tenants, especially those living in the Greater Banjul areas. Appearing before lawmakers in Banjul on Wednesday, the Minister of Information, Communication, Infrastructure, who represents the Justice Minister, says plans are underway to draft a rent control bill to make rentals affordable for less privileged people in the country. Necessary reports.
Access to standard and affordable houses in the Gambia has been a concern for many, as rental fees continue to surge, especially in the Greater Banjul areas. Most of the tenants revealed that they find it difficult to offer the amount charged by landlords. During the National Assembly's second ordinary session on Wednesday, the National Assembly member for Banjul North, Usman Silla, said the cost of house rent is suffocating many people in the Gambia. The Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, who represented the Attorney General, was asked if the government has any plans to address the issue. In response, Minister Silla said the government is working towards addressing the problem.
Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Justice is equally concerned with the issue of the hike in house rents. The issue of rent is a cross-cutting social and economic issue. As such, we believe there has to be broad consultation with key government ministries, such as the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Ministry of Lands and Local Government. The Ministry of Justice will consult these key stakeholders and come up with recommendations to Cabinet that would potentially lead to the preparation of a rent control bill.
Ibrahim Silla said these processes cannot be carried out in isolation, raising the need to engage landlords and local government officials. Lawmaker Silla suggested that the government should come up with incentives to enable landlords to offer their houses at a very reasonable price, as well as reducing high tax payment. Minister Silla responded that citizens are first priority of the government.
A tax framework on rented properties that reach certain amounts. Just recently, I had the GRA on the media, actually, different radios and TV stations, sensitizing landlords and ladies about, their rent, their tax obligations collected on rent. But let me say, in general and in broad terms, anything that will ease the conditions of the people of this country, that is the priority of the government of the Gambia, and that's what we are working towards on.
Shibirin Jilan is one of the tenants who spends over $6,000 on rent per month. This, he said, is a very big challenge for him and most of the ordinary citizens, as they earn less than $4,000 per month.
Face a lot of pain on it because
we are all facing the difficulty of rent because landlords now are taking things for granted. Some of them who built their compound within 3 years are charging people to pay 2 rooms and parlor for $5,000 each, which is not fair. And also, this agent stuff is also another reason why rents are expensive. And here in the Gambia, we all know that to earn $5,000 per month is very difficult because you have a family, you need to give lunch to children when going to school, and also you need to provide feeding for the family. This is very difficult on us.
Despite the availability of rent tribunals, landlords and tenants continue to face issues. As a result, much is needed from the government to address the challenges. The National Assembly member for Tumana also suggested that if there are laws regulating rent in the Gambia, there is no need for a new bill, recommending the amendment of those laws. The recent hike of rents in the Gambia has led to many calling on the government to step in and find measures to reduce the skyrocketing high rate, especially for less privileged. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am DCC.
That story by NDCC on government's plan to draft a rent control bill to make rental affordable for less privileged in the country will take us to a quick break, and we'll be back with the rest of the news on Gambia 24. Stay with us.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put in to constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
My name is Honorable Mariama Kejalo, a member of the Children's National Assembly of the Gambia. As we commemorate the International Day of the African Child today, I would like to remind you that as enshrined in the Children's Amendment Act 2016, the government of the Gambia criminalized child marriage and sets out strict punishment for anyone who contracts a marriage between a child and a child or between a child and an adult. According to the Children's Act 2005, a child is any human being below the age of 18. The law states that anybody who commits such an offense is liable on conviction to imprisonment not exceeding 20 years. Furthermore, a child shall not be capable of contracting a valid marriage. A parent, guardian, or any other adult who willfully contracts a marriage on behalf of a child, causes or forces a child to contract a marriage, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment not exceeding 20 years. An adult who willfully aids or abets a parent, guardian, or any other adult, or conspires with a parent, guardian, or any other adult to contract a marriage involving a child, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment not exceeding 20 years. It is in this light that I call upon the government of the Gambia to put up measures to ensure that no child in the Gambia's dream gets truncated by being subjected to child marriage. This message is brought to you by the Global Media Campaign to End FGM in partnership with Safe Hands for Girls and Child Protection Alliance.
Welcome back, and this is still Gambia 24 News. The leader of Alliance for National Reorientation and Development, General Lamin Bojang, has questioned the credibility of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission and the Janneh Commission, saying this happened at the wrong time. In an interview during iAfrica TV's Maiden Ifa Bondi program, the former top military officer says the Constitutional Review Commission did a worthless exercise while describing former President Yahya Jammeh as kind and sympathetic. Omar Ahmad Tura reports.
Retired General Lamin Bojang says the TRRC and Janneh Commission did not produce the results people expected and that they happened at times when Gambians were in limbo. To him, the Janneh Commission should have involved foreign entities to boost credibility of the exercise.
TRRC happened at a time when the climate was so in a total disarray. Things were not in fashion, things were not understood like we understood them, along the line. So as a result, the Janneh Commission has lost credit. They've lost credit because these were a group of people who were against the regime that was here, that was Jammeh's regime. They would have earned themselves respect and that integrity if they had invited international firms to come and assess the financial mismanagement that had carried out during Jammeh's regime. That would have given us the magnitude of damage.
He says Gambians investigating financial mismanagement of the former regime was more of a witch hunt than a credible exercise. The former nurse says the Constitutional Review Commission was a futile exercise, just as the TRRC and Janneh Commission.
to write another constitution alongside the 1997 constitution was a waste of time, waste of resources, and that is why it could not pass that stage. At the National Assembly, it was struck off, and that was disaster. Some of us who criticized it at that stage were once again vindicated. So what happened is that Barrow was the one who commissioned the Constitutional Review Commission. Okay, he was the one who summoned that commission. Now, if he jubilated when the Constitution was thrown away from the National Assembly, there must be a reason. You know, the reason is that the new drafted Constitution is so controversial to the extent that, you know, I'm sure the government felt that it does not serve their interest. The new Constitution is not going to serve their interest.
Bojang, the leader and standard bearer of ANRD, who also served on the Jammeh as a military officer, sums up former President Yahya Jammeh in this way.
When I was working with Jammeh, the Jammeh that I worked under was a guy who is professional in whatever he does, and he's a very kind person. He's knowledgeable, and he knows exactly what he was doing, and also has sympathy. This was the person that I worked with. Why do I say this thing? There are some people in this country today who are working in government senior positions. If not my intervention, when I was working with them, if not my intervention, they wouldn't have been working today. There have been people who were dismissed. I had to talk to him to make sure that he reinstated them.
Retired General Lamin Bojang was born in Brufut, North West Coast region. He studied nursing and graduated as a state-registered nurse. He joined the army in 1994 and rose through ranks and retired in 2012 with the general rank. He served as Gambian ambassador to Saudi Arabia and Russia. He entered into politics in 2019 and became leader of the Gambia Action Party, but was expelled from the party after a short stint before forming the Alliance for National Reorientation and Development, ANRD. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure.
The Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Silla, says the short-term restructuring strategy to revive Gamtel will cost over $5 million. The Gambia Telecommunications Company is the principal telecommunications company of the Gambia. With low quality service delivery and loss of potential customers, the state-backed company is mapping out ways to repositioning the entity. Fatmata Kasim tells us more in this report.
Gamcel was established in 2000 as a subsidiary entity of the Gambia Telecommunication Company, Gamtel. The national GSM operator provides GSM cellular services for its consumers, mostly for voice and data. It was the first operator to provide mobile communication services in the Gambia with a consumer base of about 500,000 subscribers. The National Assembly member for Badibu Ilyasa asks why Gamtel and Gamcel are losing potential customers. The information minister, it is because the company has not done any meaningful upgrading since its establishment in 2001. To help address these challenges, a turnaround strategy plan was created in 2019, mainly to maintain its services while improving its quality.
To help address these challenges, the management of Gamtel, through the guidance of its board of directors, has developed a turnaround strategy in 2019, mainly to maintain its services and to improve its quality in meeting the needs and expectations of its customers. This is done through the rehabilitation of the network infrastructure all over the country, which has helped to restore some of the telephone services around the country. Thank you.
The minister was asked a follow-up question by the Ilyasa NAM for the duration it will take to rehabilitate the network. In response, the minister said the network mechanization is ongoing and it should be actualized before the end of the year.
The network modernization project for Gamcel is ongoing. This morning I was briefed that a number of service solutions have already been provided. There is currently a shipment on the way of some of the equipment. I think they have set up a new work plan that should actually be actualized before the end of the year. Now, regarding Gamtel, there is currently the expansion going on regarding the data technology, since the liberalization of the gateway, where all the service providers now have a gateway monitored by the Public Utilities and Regulatory Authority, PURA, GAMTEL is now expanding its spares in data network by providing internet to homes and also internet to offices. Currently, all the government offices are being connected to the GAMTEL infrastructure.
The lawmaker further asked about the total cost of the GAMTEL-GAMCEL restructuring project. However, the minister couldn't give the exact figure but estimated it to be around 5 million for only GAMCEL and promised to bring the written statement.
I don't know that offhand, but I know that for GAMTEL, the medium to short-term investment plan was supposed to cost about $5 million for the network upgrade and expansion of the broadband infrastructure. And the good thing is, right now, for example, most of the loops are already closed. For example, I mean, if there are problems, say, within the network, you can do a bypass, say, from one route to the other. All those loops are closed now, so that was a significant upgrade. What is now left is to have the constituent equipment, like the fiber access terminals and the rest. These are technical terms that will make customers connect to the infrastructure, and those ones are already costed. I can provide a written statement to you on that, how much it will definitely cost the institution.
Gambia's cabinet ministers agreed that the state-backed Telecom GAMTEL and its mobile subsidiary GAMCEL will be restructured and share of GAMCEL will be subsequently divested. According to Telegraphy, the division was reached after debating the results of a study presented to Cabinet by Minister for Information and Communication Infrastructure Ibrahim Asila and Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs Mamburinjai. The agreed restructuring plan stipulates that GAMCEL will operate under an independent management free from GAMTEL's control and influence, while GAMTEL will be restructured and depositioned in order to make it more effective and efficient. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
And that report by Fatmata Kasim on government's plan to revive GAMTEL with a tune of $5 million brings us to the end of Gambia 24. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and do have a good night.
They say we slept in one world and woke up in another. This global tragedy got humans together despite our social distancing.